Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to give it just another minute or two as people are still joining. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jessica Turn. I am the Community Director at the Parks at Monterey Bay in Monterey, California, where it is very, very rainy today. So I hope everyone else is having beautiful weather. I am going to share my screen and go ahead and log into P2P. And please feel free to put questions in the chat or speak up if you have a question. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Perfect. All right. So from this dashboard, we are going to go into Elevate for production. And so I do not have P2P. Yardi is not set up for Monterey yet. So I have been using other people's P2P, their property codes, just in order to give this training. So just be aware that some of the functionality will probably look a little different for you. So this is the invoice dashboard, and this is for your invoice registers. But I'm going to start the training. We're going to look at purchase orders and how to enter purchase orders first. So you're going to go to the pay scan and go to purchase orders. And you can go to the purchase order dashboard from here. And you'll see purchase orders by status, by expense type, and by workflow. And then if you have any action items pending, so awaiting approval or your approvals, you'll see those here. I don't have any because nobody on my team is entering POs right now through P2P. So you can add a PO here by clicking this button. And you can also add a purchase order by going here and adding the PO this way. Both function the same. So this is the Add PO screen. And you're going to choose your display type. This is very important because you need to choose the display type for your property. My understanding is that everyone will have their own display type. That could change. But for my purposes today, I'm going to use Huachuca and Yuma. And then you'll select your vendor. This is a required field. Let me back up a minute. The reason we choose this display type is because in order to choose a unit for this PO, so if you want to assign this PO to a certain unit on your property, you need to choose that display type. So if we chose a different property display type, it would show those units for that property. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the vendor name here. And you can also click the ellipses and it'll bring up a menu. So I'm going to choose for imprint. And then the vendor information populates. We are going to do a marketing expense here. Those are the required fields. So vendor and expense type. It is recommended that you put something in the description. We're going to order tenant satisfaction survey signs. Now, we don't need to fill in any of this information. This is already pre-populated as far as the order date and the required by date. And then this workflow, you'll see more information once we save the purchase order. Okay, so property codes. My understanding, and this could have changed, is that we should be using the corporate property codes. Looks like it did change. So I'm going to search by Huachuca. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we have the corporate code. You need to use whatever code is associated with the budget for your property. So my understanding is that not every site has a corporate code, but if that is the one that is associated with your budget, that is the one that you need to use. And then the description again is required in this field. And then you can either select the ellipses and you can choose your account. You can search here or you can just type it into the field. I am going to choose resident surveys for this. And we'll say we're going to order 10 at $50 a piece. Okay. So I don't use the department field, but the project code field, you would use this if you were ordering something, goods or services that were related to a specific project. So if you have an insurance claim going on and you want this PO associated with that insurance claim, or to be able to search it and bring up all the POs associated to that insurance claim, you would use that project code. These are being updated as needed. So if it's something that your site needs, then talk to your community director, and they can request to have something added. And then for this purchase order, I'm not going to select a unit code. I just wanted to show you that there are unit codes associated here. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. So we don't need to fill out anything else. You can see that this would be quantity received for when we actually receive the signs, the date received, and the status. So you can add rows here if you need to add. And I'm going to go ahead and save this purchase order. Now we're over budget because I keep putting in POs for 4 imprint through here probably. So this automatically pops up if you're over budget. If it doesn't pop up, you're not over budget. But you would put your explanation here and then you would save this. So you can also look at which open invoices you have, what open payables you have, what open POs you have. Oh, it's not going to bring it up for me, but so I'm going to go ahead and save this. You can also look at your budget through the side menu that we have now that we've saved the PO. The side menu is available now. You can also see the approvers. This one has gone to Shannon for approval. And it has already sent her an email saying that she needs to approve this. Any questions so far?
There are no questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. All right. So let's take a look at, let me go back to the dashboard. So like I said, I don't have anything to approve because my team isn't entering POs at this point. But we can see that there are some POs that have been through the process. These are not received. This is one that I put in, I think, on my last training. And so we entered this PO. Shannon reviewed it. She approved it. And so it has been through the process. And now we are going to go in. And we can either receive the PO at this point and say we received 5, the 5 signs that we ordered, or we can do a change order. So for the change order, I want to warn you first, because when you click change order, the screen is going to open up and you're not going to have this information anymore. So you want to make note of the GL code that's there. If you're doing the change order in order to update that GL code, that's great. But you'll see this is the change order and none of this information is here. Now, you won't have option to use the change order unless your PO has been approved. Up until that point, you can modify the PO without doing a change order. But if you need to do a change order after it's been approved, you go in and you re-enter the information. And that means you can update the property code, the GL account, the description, the quantity, and so forth. I am not going to save this. So I'm going to click the little arrow and go back to the previous page. So you can see the status is completed. We need to, the current step is complete PO. So we would go in and we would receive the PO. I'm not going to do the change order. I also want to show you this, so where you can copy the purchase order here. You have the option to print the purchase order here. And then you also have the option to email this PO to the vendor. And so it populates the vendor email address. You're going to type the subject in here. And then you can attach the purchase order detail, or you can print the PO. And then you have additional contacts that you can assign to this as well. So the templates, I have not used. And I don't know if they populate for other sites, but they don't populate for me. So you can send that PO. So if you're ordering something and you want to let the vendor know, hey, this has been approved, that's how you would do it. Now, if you wanted to clone the PO or copy it, you're going to click the copy button, and now you have an identical PO. So you would use that if you needed to, you have something that doesn't necessarily warrant a recurring PO, but that you just want to clone it. You also, from this screen, can click the closed button. And when you save this, it voids out this purchase order. Any questions? So looking at the workflow history, there you can see where Shannon approved the PO, and just additional notes that an email was sent to me that she has approved my purchase order. Let's talk about, yes, leave this page. Receiving the PO. I don't think I can receive this one yet. There we go. So I'm going to play with this one, but I'm not going to save it. Poor Shannon, I know she keeps going into these and seeing that I mess with them, and I'm sure she's terrified. So actually this one's been, it says it's open. Nothing's been received. Oh, this one's a Christy one. Christy, have you received any of the stuff?
I have not. I just placed the order today.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can go ahead and play with it if you want to, and everything usually comes at the same time if you want to receive it and everything.
I don't want to mess anything up, because what if you don't get everything and then you think that you received it?
I can fix it, but it's okay.
You're so sweet. Thank you. This one looks fun. Okay. So this is a CapEx. It says it's been completed. So let's go click the receive button. And again, I'm not going to receive it, but you would adjust the quantity here. They only ordered one, so if they received one, we would be able to check that there. If the price was different, we would update it here as well, and the date received. And then you can click receive PO. I'm going to check it, but I'm not going to save it. And then you would click save. If you were approving multiple line items, you could check receive, and that would receive, check mark the receive on all of them. And then if you were to realize, oh, I didn't receive that after you've saved it, you can go in and unreceive the PO. So it's very simple. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the other screen. And then let's look at Marketplace. And it does tend to take a little bit to load for me, so appreciate your patience. All right. So this is very similar to what we're using in Active Building, where we have our vendors, and we select the vendor. Click, we find our item that we want to purchase. We add it to the cart. And then check it, make sure everything is good, and you can submit your cart. This is going to auto-generate the PO. You're going to get your screen where you have to enter the quantity, you have to enter the GL account, and then it references your property. So let's say lines. And then you would fill that out for each item that you're purchasing. And you would verify your ship to information, and then you would proceed to check out. I'm not going to check out because I'm sure that Belvoir probably doesn't want me purchasing random blinds. But this is what the screens look like. It's very similar. It will give you a PO number once you press order, and then it will route through the system. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And let me make sure that let's talk about reoccurring POs. So reoccurring PO, RPO. So we're going to add an RPO. And you're going to enter the purchase order like you would anything else. So we're going to enter this in. We'll say this is one garage door. And we'll select the property. We're going to order one for $3,000. Now, because this is a recurring PO, I'm not going to enter this in association with a unit. And right now, because I didn't select which display type, we have multiple properties with units available. So if you wanted to assign this to a property, you would just go into which one applies to you. And then once everything is entered, we click save. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see you have RPO information. And here's where you can enter your schedule. So you have January, February, you can select this way, you can select quarterly, you can select monthly. So whatever you need to do, it's all very user-friendly. You select your start date and what month you want that to end on. Okay, so then you click save, and the very important information about reoccurring POs is that right now, when you have recurring POs, the very first time you want that PO to post to the system, you have to go in and tell the system that you need to post that PO. After that, it'll pick it up and it'll post it each month or each whatever time frame you've defined. But for the very first one, you have to tell it to post. And so you would go here, you would click select it, and then you would post select. It has to be done or it will not post. Any questions? Okay, you guys are very quiet. All right, so let's go back to purchase order dashboard. And let's go to search PO. So you have lots of options you can choose from. You can choose which vendor you're searching for, which property, and the date time frame. I was searching for something the other day and I didn't realize that I had a vendor name in here. And so it wouldn't bring up what I was looking for. So make sure that you clear it just to make sure that you don't have anything selected because it does retain that information. Let's see. So 7478, and this is one of my POs from last week. So we can go in and receive it, receive PO. I'm going to save it. And then I'll go back in and close it out. So that one would be complete. And at that point, we would start looking at invoices. So our process is that each week we get the invoices in from the vendors. And so hopefully that's your process too. And you're receiving those invoices. We're going to take a look at the invoice dashboard. And we can see, obviously, there are a lot of invoices in the system for, well, actually, this shows everybody. So Pack Beacon, Belvoir. Now, if we need to, this also shows there's 24 waiting approval that have been open for 10 plus days. You can click on that and it'll bring those particular invoices up for you. 59 that are pending post, which is not something that I do. And then you have 5 that are over budget. So good information at a glance. So let's look at adding an invoice register. You can do that 2 ways. You can do invoice and then add IR. And you can also add an invoice from the dashboard. So this is very similar to what we use now. I don't know. Let's use a single invoice for this one. Okay, so I've imported my PO. I'm going to open the PDF. Actually, not. I'm going to just click done. Okay. And so if we had a purchase order, can't remember if it was 7473 or 7476. No, okay. So if you had the PO associated with this invoice, you would be able to enter that here, and it would pull the information over. So this would pre-fill. Because I don't have a PO for this invoice, I can't show you that, unfortunately. But it would pull that over. You would be able to see all the information. It is pretty helpful. Let me see if I can just.
Do you remember who the vendor is?
Well, this one's for this. This is for Vestas, but that is a vendor that we use at Monterey.
The vendor from the PO that you're trying to find.
Oh, that's for Imprint.
If you key in imprint on the vendor field, it'll narrow down the list of the PO. So put in imprint on payee.
Okay. If I can type. There it is. Okay.
And then go back to the purchase order lookup list. And that should give me a list. There it is. So it narrows down the list of POs available based on the vendor selected.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is Linda, everyone. She's the one who taught me everything I know.
You're doing a great job.
So I'm not going to type in the full invoice, but so now you can see the information gets pulled over. It fills out these form or these fields. And so now this invoice will be associated with this PO. No, Linda, you can't go. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be back.
So let's see what happens if I do this. Okay, so now we have additional fields on the left-hand side of the screen. Again, we can check the budget, which we're over budget. You can check the attachments. You can see which notifications were sent. So Shannon's going to get this right now, and she will absolutely know that I'm playing around in the system. How come it didn't go to you, Christy? Anyway.
If you were going to.
So I'm going to back out of that, and I'm going to show you how to import multiple invoices. So it's similar. And again, I went to purchase order, invoice, import IR. And because we're doing multiples, we're going to do, hopefully this will work. There we go. Okay. So the invoices that I just uploaded, they populate with the transaction sheets in between each one. So you're going to see that as you click through. The system thinks it knows what's what. Oh my goodness, what did I click? And then we're going to have to add sheets in between these. So we don't want to do single page invoices because they're not. Some of the invoices that we uploaded are multi-page. Okay. So you have a couple different options here. So we know that Vestas and ATI are separate, and we need to tell the system that. And we're going to do that by adding this little separator, and it just says insert separator. It's like a little piece of paper with a line through it. And you're going to add that in between the two invoices. Now, if you click on this and you accidentally delete a page from your invoice, there's no going back. So just double check it and make sure that you're not deleting anything that is important for the invoice. I don't know why this one is so long. Okay. And so then we have another invoice. So we'll add another separator here. So the system knows that we have the different invoices that we're uploading. And then you go here, you don't need to fill out all this information. You go here and you submit all the invoices. I'm not going to submit them because I don't know that I'll be able to find them again to delete them, and I don't want to make it harder on anybody. So I have this one in the system. You can look at, I went to my invoices. You can find your invoices that way. You can also do a search to see where your invoices go. And then it's pretty easy to pull up and take a look at it. Any question over all that? No? Okay. So when we went ahead and we put in the single invoice and we said it goes to this PO, it is now linked to that PO, right? We have to do that with RealPage Now. We still have to do that with Yardi. Let's see what else we could link. I don't think. Okay, so this is the ATI invoice, and I uploaded it as a single invoice. Now I would go in and I would fill in the information, including the purchase order number. And I would save that information. I would validate the information as well. When you validate the information, it's going to tell you if you have a duplicate, or if anything else is wrong with your invoice or the PO. So it's very important that you hit that validate button. You can also, at that point, you'll know if your PO needs a change order, and we've been over that, so you know how to do a change order for the PO. And then again, you can search. Yes, let's leave. So I'm searching for imprint. Again, you can clear this out. And this way you can search for all of your invoice registers. Okay. So I'm going to go over some of the reports that I found that are helpful. We run a PO directory report here so that we can see if there's any purchase orders that are over 30 days old in the system. Because ideally we try to get purchase orders approved each week and so that they're not in our queue. So we would do property, we would do, let me just go ahead and use, I don't think there's any associated with that. And then I would do order date from, I'm going to go back to 11/1/2025 through 30 days from before today. Okay. And so we're doing order, we're doing approval status. So we want the approved POs. We want the unpaid POs. And we want the ones that are not received. And again, you can run this however you need to. And hopefully Christy has some, well, I mean, not hopefully Christy, but hopefully you have some. No, one. So Christy only has one PO that's been in here for more than 30 days. But this way you can check it. This one has not been received. So there's no received information here. There's not really much info. So I think maybe she was just testing stuff out on this one.
Jessica, that's one we were talking about before the meeting.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna look at it right now. So Christy hasn't been able to attach this to the invoice. She ordered this through the marketplace. And so I don't want to get in here and mess with stuff too much. Did you try this? Choosing a file to upload it?
I was in the invoices is how I go in
Okay.
through that way, and then I attach it to that PO
Okay.
because Marketplace makes the PO for us.
Right. Right.
So,
Okay. We'll look at it after
okay.
the call. So you have lots of other options as far as reporting that you can use. So you have your budget comparison. And so you can kind of see where you're at as far as your spend for the month and for the year. Oops. Okay, it's not gonna let me do this. Let's see. Okay. All right. So obviously this isn't probably the right one. Is there a way to add credit card charges to keep it up to date? Hmm. I don't know what you mean, Josie.
So when we're make credit card purchases,
Mm-hmm.
can we add it in here anywhere, or do we just wait for accounting to do it at the end of the month?
Yeah, I don't think you can add it in here
Okay.
because, yeah, I mean, you already have the invoice, but I don't think, because when we pay that, we're not paying the vendor anymore. When we upload our petty cash accounts, we are paying back the bank. So I think it would confuse
Okay.
the system.
Yeah, probably.
Did I miss anything? Did I forget anything? Oh, something else that I do want to mention. When you or somebody else who approves POs is out on vacation, there is not the same mechanism that we have with RealPage where it sits for 48 hours or whatever and then forwards on to the next person. So Procure to Pay is not set up that way. We're working on a couple different options, but if you're out of the office and you're not available to approve POs, they're just going to sit and wait until you return and approve them. You can also download the mobile app. I have that information and I will get it out to you all. But for your facility director or your community director, the only way that you can have those addressed while you're out on vacation or sick is by approving them right now. We're looking at if we can add somebody who assigns it as an out of office, but it is an admin function. So there's only a couple people who can perform that function right now. So just be aware of that. We'll let everybody know if that changes. But again, those purchase orders are just going to sit until you either approve them on your phone or through the system.
So, like our regional property manager won't be able to see them either.
No,
Oh, wow.
that's my understanding.
Okay. Because like right now, for me, Adrena can see mine. Because
Mhm,
she's also a CD over Irwin, Moffett, and Parks. But
mhm.
I just, would all CDs be able to see all of our, all the CD level? I mean, that's an option. I think maybe they can look at that, because
Mhm.
not having someone be able to see it is like, yeah, someone said it's very concerning.
Yeah.
We
So
can't.
I guess they could if they have access, like open access to everything, because once the community director approves, so the facility director can approve up to 5,000, the community director can approve up to 15,000, and then it moves on, right? So you would think that the regional would have to have access. So I'll talk to Linda and just verify if they'll be able to approve it if it skips that step. So, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll let y'all know. But my understanding is that we're trying to figure out the out of office setting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, Jerry. It is concerning. Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone being here today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I will send out an email with, again, the mobile app information and just a follow-up. And you'll have my information if you need anything. Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Christy, do you want to stay?
Do you want me to stay on this one since it's recording for the training?
Oh, well, let's not stay on this one then.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.